Hey, I got a tip for you. If you have one of these JKs and you have an EGR fault and you need to change your EGR, this is a 2009. So the newer ones have a different style engine. I don't know if it's the same, but the EGR is a terrible job. You have to go through the right front fender well, take out your fender liner, wheel off, fender liner out. Now you can look, you see up in the corner to the back of the engine, you'll see the EGR standing up there. There's actually one bolt, one 10mm head bolt that makes the job really suck. You can't even see the bolt, but you can feel it around the other side of the EGR, and you go, how in the devil am I going to get this? Now this car has an automatic, and that's what really makes it suck. So you get like zero room. You basically can't fit this ratchet in there, which would make the job so easy. So I watched some other people's videos, and they're using shorty wrenches, like box wrenches, and first of all, it's tight. It's very tight, and most of the people complain about how tight it is for such a little wrench with so little leverage, and you can't add anything to it because that's the point. You need a smaller wrench to do the job. So I started doing mine, and while I was doing it, I realized, yeah, there's nothing that's going to work except for a shorty wrench, unless I think of something else. And after a couple minutes of fooling around, I thought I would weld up and make my own tool, like maybe take a socket and then weld a piece of metal to the side of it, so I have this short tool that can get around it. And then I realized if only the dipstick wasn't in the way. So I'm used to this kind of stuff, you know, from being a dealer tech and you're working flat rate and things like that. That's in my past anyway. And you're always thinking of a trick because you're going to be doing these jobs over and over and over. So if you could figure out how to do something quickly, and you'll make it, the first one might be an investment in time, but then after that you'll get one and you'll be faster and faster, and it'll be very, very fast. So I'm used to that. So what I figured out was that you can jack over kind of your automatic dipstick towards the driver's side and tie it in place, and that allows you to use a ratchet like this one. This is a snap-on. This one actually has a flex head on it. A thick ratchet with a big bulky body. There's cheapy ratchets, they can't make them like this. Snap-on, maybe some other good tool companies can make a ratchet this small, but like something you get like in the auto parts store is probably going to be like so much wider, so much thicker. It's not going to work. So, but take a look at my idea, and I just wanted to help some people because I had no idea I was going to film this, and because I did it after my shift at work today, and I started doing it, and I realized, yeah, this is a bummer. And I had watched other guys' videos and things, like I said, and all of a sudden I came up with this idea, and I said, I wish I had my camera, my tripod, but it didn't. So I filmed it up on my phone. Hopefully, you know, forgive the shaking. Like I said, I'm using a cell phone, but I had to do something. I was in the process of doing the job, and I wanted to share it and show you how I made the dipstick stay away, and then I could fit this tool in there and actually ratchet it, you know, and then put it back on. And really, when I put it back on, if this whole job took me 20 minutes to reverse after I took it, maybe it took me an hour to get it out. That wasn't too bad. People were saying it's 2 hours plus job, but the hour coming out was just because I was figuring out I got to make some kind of tool to do this. So I wasn't even with the car. I was at the bench looking at different tools. You'll see a bunch of them laying there that I was working with, thinking, you know, out of all this, I'm going to make something work. So I hope this helps people, and I hope you like it and have a look at it. Thanks. Okay, so if you got one of these Jeep Wranglers like this, this is a JK 2009, and you're going in to change your exhaust gas recirculation EGR valve, it is a bitch. And I learned a lot from watching other people's videos. There's a lot, I know somebody's going to comment, yeah, but brake lines that are too long. I'm going to correct that. So I learned a lot, but mostly it's repetitious. People using various wrenches, and it's really risky because you only have so much little clearance. Hold on a second, let me show you something. Okay, so this is the new one that's about to go in, And you can see this is about how it's going to look at you once you get the outside pipe off that's facing you, that it's easy. So, but the inside bolt, it's different. So there it is. And you can see from here, you can't see that devil. And if you have an automatic, sorry for the shaking, I don't have my tripod with me today. That dipstick tube comes about right here. And you try to put a wrench on, people are using shorty wrenches. Back here, they're using shorty wrenches. And I'm telling you. So I thought the best way would be to get a socket. Okay, so like I said, if you look in here, you could see I have a ratchet on the rear bolt, and I've loosened it already, and that's when I thought I better share this video. Now, how did I get that in there when everybody else couldn't get anything but a shorty wrench? And I'm not saying everybody didn't look at every single video because they're repetitious. So I'm not going to show you the whole process. You can look at their videos. But in order to get that wrench on there, now I'm telling you, I'm using a Snap-on. They're very good, very thin, very light, and very strong. If you got a big clunky old SK or something, or you know, some junky ratchet, it's not going to fit. That's a 1/4-inch drive, straight ratchet, no flex in it. And I do have the flexies somewhere over here. That also would have worked. It's also Snap-on. So here's a better look at how thin they are. This way and this way. All right, if you don't have a ratchet that is this thin line, it's probably not going to work. So let me show you what I did about the dipstick. All right, so I was a flat rate mechanic and for BMW, and you want to make as much money as you can. So you learn little tricks like this, either that or you don't make any money. That is a carriage bolt with a nut in the bottom, so can't slide down inside a dipstick tube, even though that head wouldn't have fit. But some people might use just a extension or something, and if you let it go, it might go down the dipstick tube, or if that tie should break unexpectedly, you have the same problem. It might hit a corner where you think you're going to pull it out with a magnet and it doesn't come. So use something like this, it won't pass into there and drop in. Now I'm using some heavy duty zip ties, and I got going around that bracket there. Okay, that's, I think that's a hood bracket, and it's going around the top of that, and I pulled that sucker and I pulled it, and it's not going to damage anything. And I have it so tight that it's over, it pulls the whole thing over far enough that you can actually get your socket and your ratchet in there and loosen it. So I'll show you if I can. Like I said, I'm holding my phone. I forgot my camera. I had no idea I was going to make this video. It's after work and I needed to do this so I can get my check engine light off. Let me take a look again inside. Okay, again, apologizing for the shaky camera, but I'm reaching back here and you can see I'm able to ratchet that bolt loose. And this, probably most of these replacement ones will give you the bolt. So you could see, you get the point. You can see the whole thing's moving. And it's loose now, you see? Okay, wasn't tricking you. All right, so that's about my tip, and then you'll be able to use it to put it back on again. You know, put some anti-seize on those bolts and things. And I hope this helps some people that are setting out to do this job on their own. And again, get the thin, strong ratchets, or you're not going. This isn't going to be enough clearance. Okay, thank you. Okay, so you could see all the tools I got out in preparation to remove this valve here, and what it came down to in the end is this is everything I needed right here. We got our ratchets. Like I said, you don't have a ratchet that's just thin, I don't think it's going to work. It'd almost be worth, you know, either borrowing, or if you got one that's that thin and small, it'll work, because we're going to pull that dipstick tube over, but it's not going to be like tons of room, just enough. You got your 8mm for the front two bolts here, and you got your 10mm for the rear here. That's the troublemaker. And we have somewhere had standing up the extension. That's about what, 6-7 inch extension, and pair of cutting pliers, zip ties, and the most important thing was this, not really most important, but this carriage bolt that I used to stick in the dipstick tube so I could tension it over. And don't tie it to your washer jets. It's like a plastic piece coming up. There's two of them. It'll break off. Tie it to the bracket for the hood hinge. So that's all what you're seeing right there. None of these wrenches I needed, just that. And really, I threw this valve back in, honestly, in 20 minutes from front to back. Tubes hooked up, all the brackets back in place, and that just pulling that dipstick tube over like that, it was a miracle maker.